Great evening, everyone. Come on in. We are live on Wednesday. It's my birthday, and I'm super excited that you all are here on this evening. So come on in the room. Go ahead and share this out with your entire community. Let them know if there is a party going on. As you can hear the music in my background, there is a party going on, y'all. And so please go ahead and share and go ahead and drop in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Drop in the chat where you're coming in from. What rep your city. Let us know who you are representing this evening, whether it is you're in North Carolina, in Virginia, in New York, in California, wherever you are. Come on in, share this live, and go ahead and drop in the chat what city you're repping this evening. We are looking forward to our conversation. So I'm gonna give y'all some time to come on in, to share, and to rep your city. So good to see y'all this evening. All right, all right, all right. We're going to get started in about 3 minutes. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and share this live with your community. And please go ahead and drop in the chat where you are repping, which is city, where you watching from. We want to know. We want to love on you on this evening, and we want to celebrate your city tonight. Come on in, come on in. We're looking forward to having this conversation this evening. We're going to start in 1 minute. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in the room. We're looking forward to you all and to sharing with you this evening. All right. According to my clock, it is 7 p.m. And so, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so exciting to be here with you all in this evening. I am honored to share this space with you. For those of you who do not know me, I am Dr. Sam. I am elated to be here on this evening to engage in this conversation. So, do me a favor. before we get started, please make sure that you all like, share, make sure you rep your city in the chat. Let the people know that we are here today and that you are ready to be a part of this conversation, y'all. Can y'all get excited? Drop some fire in the chat if you are excited this evening to be in the building with us. Y'all, it's a party. I'm so excited to be here with y'all on this evening. Thank you so much for joining us on a Wednesday, on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday. So welcome to Think Tank Thursday, which again, we're having it on a Wednesday. We're real talk, okay? Sparks real change. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Sam, and we will tackle the hottest topics in education that actually shape our classrooms, our communities, and our future. So, for today's deep dive, we will be discussing professional trauma in education. And this is actually part 2 of this conversation. So, for those of you, again, who do not know me, I'm Dr. Sam. I am a 16-year veteran teacher, just giving you all a couple of insights to who I am, because I don't want to be a stranger for those who are brand new, and to make sure that, you know, who I am, right? And so I founded the think tank about a couple of years ago, and I was using the platform actually to bring awareness to my college students because I am an adjunct professor at the North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, and I had used the platform actually to allow my students an opportunity to get to know other professions and individuals and different things like that. And then, of course, COVID happened and I actually stopped doing it. But, it hit my spirit for me to go ahead and bring this back. And I'm excited to bring it back because this time I really want to focus on those hot topics in education that really mean a lot that we need to really talk about, right? Those things that we can't discuss sometimes in our staff meeting, or we may not be able to discuss in our PLCs, but it needs to be discussed, right? And such things as this topic, we're talking about professional trauma. So this evening, and give me 1 second, I want to make sure I'm sharing my screen with you all. This evening, I want to take the time for us to have a candid conversation with our guest. And I'm going to bring him to the screen in a second, or bring him to the stage in a second. But I really wanted you all to have an opportunity to know he is. So tonight, our special guest is Mr. Rashaad Pitt, and he started his educational journey in '06, right, as a history teacher in Pittsburgh City Schools. And he has served as a teacher, as a middle school and success coordinator, as a high school dean of students, as well as a principal. And, he's an instructional leader. He has over 19 years. So I ain't bringing you somebody who just got out of the classroom yesterday, right? Or somebody who just got to school themselves yesterday. But this is a veteran educator, somebody who's been in it. And y'all, I hate to say this, but he really is a unicorn, a Black man in education, right? And so that is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring him here, because he is passionate about education, but he's also passionate about health and awareness and wellness for educators. He does hail from the good old city, the BX, from the Bronx, New York. He's still from New York, but Brooklyn gonna rep all the time. But I'm not gonna hold that against him. But he is hailing from New York. He does hold degrees from Virginia State, from Walden University, and you all can read his credentials. But most importantly, he is the proud father of 3 amazing children. And so I'm bringing to the stage now. I need y'all to put some claps in the chat. I need you to drop some fire in the chat. And welcome to the stage, Mr. Rashaad Pitt. Woo!
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Dr. Sam, happy birthday. And I really want to thank you for this opportunity. Definitely a pleasure to be able to celebrate with you on your birthday and talk about a much needed topic. So thank you. I appreciate the salutations and the welcome.
Thank you. And thank you so much again for being here. And I know the people don't want to hear from me. The people want to hear from you. So let's jump right into our chat. first question that I have for you, as a former school leader, the role often requires balancing immense responsibilities and pressures and different things like that. And can you share with us a moment or experience that was particularly traumatic for you and how it actually shaped your perspective as a leader?
So, in my 19 years, of course, there have been a lot of different experiences that um, I would say have been traumatic, or just brought more awareness and made me more hyper vigilant in my approach in education. But if one opportunity or one particular experience I can think of was in a previous leadership role. While interviewing for this role, there was someone that eventually supervised, that was a part of the interview panel, which, I guess, them being a staple in the school community, and having a lot of respect of the leaders within the building, and just teacher leaders, and within that building, they were a part of that particular panel. So I ended up landing the job. So I was still maybe like the second or third week in the school year, and I was still getting adjusted. And at this particular time, we had a situation where there was a alleged firearm that was brought into the school. So, I contacted district leadership and talked to them about, the appropriate protocol to put in place, because I was still familiarizing myself with those things. This was, it was like the first week, the second week of me in my role, being in that role. So we put the protocol in place. We, based upon the information that we had that we had all collected, utilized our relationship with the local police department. By the end of the day, after we did of course, when situations like that are high, intense, and a lot of emotions, a lot of uncertainty. We did a debriefing with the staff of information that we had at the time. So we dismissed after the debriefing. Everyone went home. We got some additional information that about the incident that took place with the students involved, and then it ended up getting out amongst, because this is a close-knit community. Everyone had and information spreads like wildfires, especially with people having different relationships with people on the board, or with members within the community, or within this local police department. Like, it gets out into community fast, and then quickly have to brace up and address those matters. So that staff member happened to be out during that day. So when they came back into the building, while in front of another staff member, another teacher, and this member is part of the admin team, this staff member stated, well, I wouldn't have made that call. That wouldn't have been a call I made. And so public undermine, just public lack of respect for me and my role, and having that conversation in front of a staff member. So automatically it appears that we're disjointed. And then, of course, me being new to the role, undermining of my leadership undermining of my leadership. And it led to me, of course, and let me be clear, not opposed to having controversial conversations about things behind closed doors as an admin team. We can have healthy dissent about what should have been done, what should not be done as a team behind closed doors, just like as being a former athlete. There's a play that may have not gone the wrong way. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach can have those conversations with players. That locker room, that behind the closed doors is very important, and we want to honor those spaces so people feel safe. And in that moment, wasn't a safe environment. So from that point moving forward, it made me I guess hyper aware of how to address things, and I guess mansplain or over explain things about, how I'm addressing things, which I guess I felt like was kind of watering down my leadership, and I did not feel as comfortable in my role, and I would second guess my decisions, and I just felt like, I was not being, and of course, district leader at the time was very supportive and had those conversations and pulled us in one-on-one, but that kind of raised my eyebrows and made me did not feel as comfortable, in my role as a leader during that time.
So let me ask you this, because there's so many things that I'm hearing as you're talking about that specific situation, from microaggression. But they're talking about this first off to somebody whom they supervise as well. Instead of, my bishop used to always say, "Don't talk across, talk up." And so instead of coming to you, they talked across, right? And then I'm hearing also is that, and which, especially when you're in a role of leadership, and whether it is that you're new to the position or you're new in a new atmosphere, the position may have done this 9 years, but you're in a new school setting, and you do tend to second guess yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
What things transpired afterwards, or what kind of boundaries or safeguards did you put in place? And I know this is kind of off topic. Did you have to put in place for yourself in order for you to be able to work with that person?
I can honestly say that within, I don't think I did a good job of that, which kind of led to me probably internalizing it more.
Mm-hmm.
Work-life balance was already trash. Being new to the role, you want to make sure you're very committed, you're very present. So you try to drown yourself in your work, because in that moment in time, trying to being a, I guess, relatively large Black man and confronting individuals, you got to be mindful of that. You got to be mindful of, your smile and your presence. So all those things are kind of, I don't think I didn't do a really good job of creating boundaries. And I allowed scenarios like that to kind of chip away at me. And I internalized it, like, was it me? What is it about me that, that I'm getting challenged in this way? That, what am I not, is it my performance? So it was just a lot of reassurance I had to do after I got out of the role. But yeah, I don't think I did a good job of creating any boundaries, to be honest. Now, after I remove myself from the role, absolutely. But in that moment and during that particular time and in that particular role, I would say that I did not do a good job of creating any boundaries. However, your teachers are aware of the culture and climate of the building, as well as the culture and climate of the admin team. So there was a lot of information that was being passed to district leadership about how there was an evident disdain and fracture in the admin team's abilities to work together. So eventually there was opportunity for there be some intervention, and some opportunities presented themselves, which allows for people to get promoted into different roles. And then I was able to create my own admin team and identify some people that I felt were good fits for the team, and was able to move forward to create more of a team that attached to a skill set, who was open to feedback, had more opportunities for shared leadership, and I was able to again assemble a team that was more reflective and indicative of the type of leader I was.
So, and you literally answer the question. I was going to ask you, did you inherit your team, or were you able to create your team? And you just answered, you inherit that original team.
So to go with just a little, so originally I was offered this opportunity maybe like the first week of August. I got a call that I was, received the job. It was maybe like August 5th. School starts August 22nd. My official day on the job was August the 15th. So it was just a quick turnaround. And again, this is not anything new that anyone else has not done, but it was a new experience for me. Coming off of, being an assistant principal for 3 years at that particular time, summer school principal, then also interviewing my mentor at the time, God bless his soul, Rick Parker, was like, hey, once you do summer school principal, you're going to be ready to be principal. And lo and behold, by the end of that summer, I was afforded the opportunity to be principal of a building. So, things happened the way they did. And it was a blessing. And it was definitely a learning ground. I learned a lot from that experience.
Wow. And so I know the time is getting away from us. I'm going to go ahead and jump to our next question. And let's see where we go. And so question number 2, of course, and I think you kind of addressed this one, but if there's anything else you would like to make our viewing audience aware of, by all means. So leaving a leadership role is not a decision that is made lightly. No one wants to, step away from something that they're passionate and they absolutely love. What factors ultimately led to your decision to step away, and how has that decision impacted your personal as well as your professional identity?
So I would say I was, because of I guess the way I was internalizing work, I was not taking care of myself health wise. I ended up being diagnosed with sleep apnea. My blood pressure, historically already, hypertension runs in my family. Those that don't know, some that do. My dad died at 44 years old, so it was something that as going to the doctor was like, hey, like, you got to make some, unless you want your kidneys, you want to have kidney failure and kidney disease, you got to start making some decisions that are going to be better for your health. On top of that, I did have an apartment in the area, but I would commute back and forth because I had, younger children down there, but also noticed just a difference in my presence. We would still do the things that we, do. I would go take them out and go to movies. And I find myself falling asleep in the movies, just not being as present. I just was not real healthy at all. So I just, like, again, that work-life balance situation was not, I just was not doing a really good job. So, I ended up resigning from that particular role. A week later, there was an opening in back in the district. I was assistant principal prior to transition to my principalship. And I already had a YMCA gym membership, so I just made it a concerted effort to, watch what I was taking in, make sure I was, versus every 6 months doing a doctor's appointment, doing it every 90 days. Noticed some changes on the scale, changes in my clothes, but it was a process where I was just like, making sure I had a designated time after work, and going to the gym, hitting the Stairmaster, just doing my regular routine. But then also, which I was not mastering, was having a good leave time to leave the building. Like, I felt like there was always something I needed to do, always something I needed to address, whether it be uploading formal observations, making sure I made those phone calls. And so just creating a better job. I'm doing a better job of leaving the building at a time, after all kids are dismissed. We, of course, there's still extracurricular activities you want to be present for to support students and staff, but just creating a leave time. We'll leave by at least an hour after students leave, or maybe, I'll do these two activities, or just creating more of a boundary for things that, of course, there's deadlines that need to be met and things that need to get done, but addressing those more in a timely manner, so that they'll create opportunities for me to leave and and not feel like I'm bogged down with so many of my obligations attached to the role.
Sorry, I was on mute. But I can definitely agree with you. When you're in that role and you want to do a great job, and I definitely, maybe you can attest to this, that feeling that extra pressure. I, and I'll go ahead and just say it. I feel like sometimes African Americans, we have to work twice as hard to quote unquote prove ourselves, and not, you know, and that can lead to that type of that level of burnout, or that stress, or those different things like that. And so, what is one advice? And I know again I'm going off topic, but what is one advice you would give to any leader, specifically in education, or if you want to make it general, any leadership? What is one advice you would give to them about prioritizing their health?
Um, if your why is for your children or the children that you serve, um, if you're not your best self in the role, then they're not going to get the max out of you. So I would say, create those spaces and times for yourself, self-care, whatever that looks like for you, healthy self-care. Sometimes self-care looks a little different for everyone, but healthy self-care opportunities for you to decompress, not think about work, whether it's removing your work email from your phone so you're not tempted to respond to that parent or to whatever your supervisor is asking you for, whether it is not opening up your computer, making sure you leave, get everything you done by within the allotted time that you created for yourself, so you're not touching your computer over the weekend. Putting an away message up saying, hey, I will respond back when you leave the building on Friday. Putting an away message saying that I will not be able to respond at this time. I will get back when I get in the building. Just creating these healthy supports where we're already automatically thinking about the job and being in the principal role. Being in the principal role, you're constantly thinking about, what's do I need to watch the news? What's happening in the community? So I know what do I need to have my crisis management team ready so I can address certain things. Whose staff is going to be out? So who do we need to put in these particular spaces to support? And then staff complaining about, we're not getting compensated enough, or I'm not getting honored for because of collective bargaining. That I'm not getting compensated. I'm not receiving compensation for the time I've been in there. So, dealing with those things, are constant. What communication do I need to send? Is my my weekly newsletter ready? Is it of the format of my supervisor likes? Because I'm getting feedback about what my newsletter looks like. So, just making sure you're doing those things and making sure the communication is appropriate and make sure it's efficient. And even with all those things being done, there's still individuals that say, hey, I didn't know, or I didn't know, or I didn't receive that communication. So you got to just be solid in yourself and be like, look, I know that I'm doing a good job. And you have to have people that you can talk to outside of the building, outside mentors that kind of reassure you and tell you about, you can run scenarios by to communicate what would you do in these scenarios. I have a great mentor in Dr. Willie Bell, also soon to be Dr. Regina Mitchell, and who give me play-by-play and really good sounding boards about what I should do, what I should not be doing, and even when I just want them to listen and not give me feedback. So, just creating those healthy boundaries and also having some outside support who can give you feedback that sometimes you hear don't want to hear.
And you literally just answered question number 3, and I could not agree with you even more. Like, you hit the nail on the head with that, especially that mentorship piece, and just having that sounding board, somebody who listens, as well as somebody who can correct, as well as somebody who can help to steer and navigate you where you need to be. And so I could not agree with you even more. And then word on the street is somebody got a book coming out. Tell us a little bit about your book. We're excited.
Well, it's a lot of individuals. It's a book that's been on my heart, leading through the fire, and it's kind of talk about some of my experiences in leadership. I also want to dedicate this book to my mentor, Mr. Rick Parker. In my first week as principal, he passed away on the 15th. August 15th is when I started. He passed away on the 19th. So that gentleman was like, I was like, he was Batman. I thought, and I was Robin. Like, I really admired his leadership, his stature. He's a former professional athlete, extremely educated, extremely smart, and I'm gonna, in some point in that book, I'm gonna dedicate maybe the preface to him, just for in him imparting in me. So I'm very, very thankful for him. But I'm going to be talking about my experiences in leadership, and hopefully provide some practical support for aspiring leaders and those who are in leadership now, about how how you can navigate leadership. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I have a little bit of them, and I hope that it'll be a blessing to those who decide to read.
That is awesome. So you all please make sure that you follow on all his social media platforms, but it is Facebook, LinkedIn, or even Instagram. You can just put his name in the search bar, and you will find him. And when that book drop, please make sure that you all grab your copy. I know I will be getting my copy, so make sure you all grab your copy, because that is the first and foremost. I do believe in supporting fellow educators. I believe in supporting fellow leaders, and I believe in supporting fellow Black educators, right? Um, and I want you all make sure that you grab your copy of the book. I know the time is winding down right now. Any last thoughts or things that you would like to share, Mr. Pitt?
Um, Again, Dr. Sam, I appreciate this opportunity to come on and share some of my experiences, especially on your birthday. There's so many things you could have been doing, so I appreciate you providing me this opportunity to speak. And if there are any questions or any thoughts that you have, any viewers, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, which is Rashaad Pitt, or on Facebook, which is Pitt Rashaad. I believe my Instagram, VA Educator RRP. I think I got it. Either way, just find me. And if there's anything you have, send me a comment. I don't mind supporting, or if I don't have the answer, I will definitely reach out to my village to help you provide with you with any support. So yeah.
Thank you so much again for being with us on this evening, Mr. Pitt. Before we go, make sure you all grab your free copy of our 2025 budget planner. Next Thursday, we'll be hosting our second webinar, from unsure to unstoppable, 4 ways to build teacher capacity. You can register. It's a free webinar. Anyone and everyone is welcome to our webinar. Make sure that you also follow us on all our social media platforms. If you missed Mr. Pitt's handles and all those different things, jump onto YouTube. I'm gonna make sure I put all his information in the description. Again, you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever they want to call it these days. And all of it at Dr. Motawali, or at Unchained Eduabilities LLC, where again we are so thankful that you all are able to join us on this evening. And we are looking forward to our next conversation. Remember, this is Think Tank Thursday on a Wednesday, where real talk really sparks real change. Again, Mr. Pitt, thank you for joining us on this evening. We hope you all got some great nuggets, gems, information from tonight. Don't forget to grab his book. And I need y'all to go now and share, like, subscribe, do all the fancy things, and follow him on all his social media platforms. This video will be posted tomorrow for those of you who needed the replay, because you may be busy tonight. We get it. We know educators' life, or we just know life in general. And so again, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Y'all have a great one.